The party tracked the raiders back to their camp, interrogating a straggler on the way there and dodging around a ambush that they had been told about. When they arrived at the camp, Gedwin and Sven attempted to infiltrate it, while Ravon and Corden skirted on around the edges to lend assistance and perhaps do a little more scouting. However, while Sven put on a scowling face and was able to blend in relatively well, Gedwin was not so lucky, and they were captured and were ordered to be executed on the morrow by a woman wearing purple holding a halberd named Frulam Mondath. Realizing that this was and then the cultists decided to celebrate this by pulling in a wagon of fine Dwarven ale and drinking to their heart's content. Noticing that there is some friction between the humanoids and the kobolds, Corden took advantage of the situation and went and joined the revelry and handed out beer to everyone, kobolds and humanoids alike, and threw a mug so hard it cracked open the skull of a kobold and started a brawl in the middle of the camp, which required the intervention of Frulam Mondath. While everyone was distracted, Ravon slunk down the side of the cliff and took out the single guard that was left to keep an eye on the tied up prisoners. After freeing the prisoners and the contact monk they had been asked to rescue by Thrastra, Leelson or Lanthar, they quickly scuttled out of the camp, only to encounter the ambush group on its way back from where they'd been hiding out and no one came by. And after defeating them, I believe the party was going to continue to walk back to Greenest.
Yes.
And I believe that was all that happened last time.
Did we do loot? If there even was any loot?
Any loot that was had would have been a couple of gold pieces and whatever equipment the ambush party had on them.
Okay. Well, I do believe we are going to be walking back then. Any dissent?
Oh, I think we're probably in good shape to wander back.
I want to go home.
All right. As you guys head back through the night, you will be going a little slower than you did on the way here, because you'll have to work with the monk isn't doing too well, despite his brave face in the camp.
Oh yes, he is very short. They don't walk fast, do they?
Yes.
What about all the other prisoners?
They're in better shape than he is, but they have not been fed too well.
Okay. Well, I can stop and forage with no penalty to our travel time.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping you were to say Goodberry.
Oh, I could do that too.
Goodberry. 10 berries.
And it'll keep you full.
Yes.
It's like lembas bread.
Maybe I'll have you guys find some of that in this game. I don't know. But yeah, the main difference between the condition of the monk and the other peasant prisoners is the peasants mostly look like they've been worked and not fed and not, treated properly, whereas it looks like the monk was actively used as a punching bag.
Oh, makes sense. All right.
But if there's nothing anyone else wants to do at this time, then you will be able to return to Greenest without issue with prisoners in tow.
Very cool. I think we should do that.
Sounds perfect to me.
It is early morning and the sun just starting to rise. When you return to the town of Greenest, you can see that most of the townsfolk have left the keep and are starting to put back together the lives that had been, I guess, not shattered, basically, with the number of people that were killed and the homes that were looted by the raiders. And as you approach the keep with the people you've rescued, you do have a couple of commoners coming out of the huts and saying, "The heroes are back! They've saved them!" And coming up to thank you, and one of them will bring you a basket of fresh bread with and a cup full of berries they've harvested nearby, so that they can be on hand for the legendary ranger's well-known good berry spell. And the prisoners will go off with their families as they spot them. But the monk will stay with you until you reach the keep, where the guards are more than happy to let you back in as you return largely triumphant from the raider camp.
If that's what you want to call triumph.
I mean, you rescued people. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we came back alive too.
Exactly how many of our objectives did we accomplish there?
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
All
main
of
thing
them
is
that
we,
weren't- all of them that weren't a ruse.
Only half of us got captured.
As soon as you get inside the keep, Leosin the monk will basically collapse unconscious from his injuries and from his condition. And the guards will quickly rush him off to the infirmary to be inspected. And one of the other guards will bring you to Governor Nighthill's office. When you enter the room, it appears as though Governor Nighthill he seems to be wearing the exact same formal wear that he was wearing the prior day. It almost looks as though he entered like a steam cleaner, is wearing his outfit, and left, and he's pristine as ever.
What a gentleman.
Mm-hmm. And he'll say, "The guards have told me that you have brought back the monk Leosin, or Lanthar, and I thank you for that. Were you able to accomplish any of the other objectives I laid out for you?"
What other objectives?
Who's going to talk?
let me talk. I'm really good at this. What other objectives?
Mr. Charisma over here.
Governor Nighthill will frown deeply, and well, from what we learned, there was a hatchery at the camp, and I was hoping that
we didn't see it.
Into it.
We didn't see it.
We were not able to get to it.
Someone kicked me
our
in the
cover
shins or
was
something.
blown immediately, and we had to improvise.
Improvising is in our strong suit.
Things did not go so well. We were lucky to make it out with not just our own lives, but with the monk in tow.
Second time, more defense, better results, maybe. Would be a challenge, but that hatchery should be found and eliminated. Mr. Snickers.
I hope not.
Woof,
Oh,
woof,
there's a
woof,
sleeping dog.
woof,
All right.
woof.
Yep. So Governor Nighthill will say, "I
That's
see."
the little dog that I'm watching, and he's barking in his sleep.
Yes, I love it when they do that.
That's adorable.
So Governor Nighthill will clear his throat and do Well, it is unfortunate that you were captured so quickly, but perhaps when Leosin awakes, we can see what information he gleaned during his time in the camp. I was speaking with Thrastra. There was some suspicion between her and I that he had allowed himself to be captured so he could learn more of the camp by being directly in the middle of it. So we'll see what information he has gleaned. But even though you may not have accomplished everything, I think you have done an honorable job by bringing Leosin back here.
I want to go back. It was a really pretty lady there.
He quirks an eyebrow. A pretty lady.
Yeah, she was so strong and mean. I want to meet her again.
We're
What-
more purple. Uses
I-
a halberd.
I was planning on sending you back out there again. Perhaps this pretty purple lady with a halberd is the Resmir that you have been mentioning, Sven.
Sven's just got a glazed look on his face right now. He's kind of off in the clouds right now.
Do you think this pretty purple lady is the leader of the Raiders?
Well, I feel like Seth got the most interaction with her, really.
Yeah.
Seeing her quelling the riot or whatever. Not that he's here.
Was Corden, was that half dragon lizard creature that you fought in single combat, was he there as well, or do you think he's part of a separate group? And he'll look at the rest of you. Did any of you see this Langdedrosa Cyanrath there?
Oh yeah, I talked to it. Still not sure.
It was there.
It was there. Well, I will ask of you when you think you'd be able to set out again.
Day's rest. Make sure the prisoners are all right. Talk to the monk. Good to go.
Is a day's rest really enough?
I don't know.
It probably is.
Currently, you guys, because you basically went there straight through the night and came back.
We'd be tired in some way.
Yeah, you are currently exhausted, which means you'd have disadvantage on all skill checks.
And we're in better shape than the monk.
Mhm. So, and a full day's rest will recover you for that.
Yeah.
If you guys
Right.
wanted to keep going after walking back to the camp, you would be fatigued, which would also give you disadvantage on all attack rolls.
Not recommended.
No thanks. I don't need to be fatigued today.
Yes, if you want to rest, I think that is probably for the best. From what you've told me, it seems like they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Though that does have me concerned for another reason, especially if they plan to attack again. But I think that for what you have done with rescuing Leosin and the prisoners, I am more than happy to repay you for the work you have done.
Oh,
You-
a lot of them kind of seemed like me, really. They're a lot of mercenaries, a lot of sellswords, really.
So not the most cohesive group.
No, not at all.
Mm.
Kind of like us.
Hmm.
Then perhaps this is why you are the best equipped to deal with them as a group.
They seem like they are starting to recognize us, though, and perhaps they are starting to fear
I
us.
think it's because they don't have a guitar and you have one.
As you guys speak, Governor Nighthill will go over to a small chest at a desk in the back of the room, and he will pull out 4 leather bags, and he will hand one to each of you. Inside is 250 gold pieces for rescuing our townsfolk and the information you have provided. I am grateful for the work you all have done. So you all get 250 gold pieces from Governor Nighthill.
Ooh. Wow, me too.
This is most appreciated.
The monk won't
Thanks.
take a cut because he's got the whole monk thing. Just so you know.
Governor Nighthill will cork an eyebrow and say, "Oh, if my theory is correct, and he allowed himself to get captured and forced you into this dire situation, then I certainly won't be paying him. 250.
I have a poem to write.
One thing, though, is I do wish that we could get a second go at that hatchery.
I think that's the idea. We're resting a day and then we're going to go back.
That would be the most important thing to foiling their plans.
Sven wanders off at this point. He says something about writing a poem. He's on a mission right now.
Mm-hmm.
A mission
Right.
from God.
So
No.
it is early morning. We'll say about 8 a.m. Do you guys want to set out again in the evening, or do you want to hang out a full 24 hours and set out tomorrow morning?
I think a full 24.
Yeah.
Gives them time
Well,
to regroup, but makes us
Aye.
actually physically fit.
Mhm.
Besides, we can get back there faster now that we've been there before, right? I'm assuming.
You do know the way, so you can do the straight path back if you want.
Less of a... Unless the rear guard or whatever, those rock throwing guys are changing. They're gonna change their positions, but we'll worry about that.
You killed them on the way back.
Oh yes, that too. Wait, did we?
Yeah, those are the guys you bumped into. They were
Oh.
returning to the camp.
Oops. Sucks for those guys.
Whoopsie.
Rip.
So as we are walking, we might want to consider a new strategy.
Poem.
Yeah, coming up with a plan of action may be a wise course. I'll have my clerics work on Williamson's health, and then we can reconvene this evening, and we'll see what he has to say.
Yeah, my character's gone.
Yep.
What are y'all doing?
I don't know if Ravon is really. I mean, there's nothing really new at the store, I'd say. So Ravana's probably just going out to probably scout a little bit, and then he'll come back and rest and whittle things like he does. Good old ranger boy. Probably wanders the castle a little bit in more deserted areas.
So I think what I'm going to do is see if, well, first I'm going to see if I have the disguise skill, and if not, I think I'm going to check if there's. I'm going to ask Night Hill if he has anybody that's kind of like intelligence, like sneaky guy that might be able to help us with disguises.
Mhm.
Because at this point, they totally recognize. Also, I need a different instrument other than my gay guitar, as they called it.
Mhm.
Oh, now you're just grouping them, Paul. One of them called it a gay guitar. One of them said that's not okay.
This is true. This is true. Let's see. I'm also proficient in violin or accordion.
Ooh.
So I will see if anybody in the fort has one of those, and if not, then I'm going in without an instrument, and God help us.
All right, Alex, I did a knowledge check, like just a basic intelligence check for my poem writing. I rolled
Sure.
a 7.
Ah,
How long does it take to write a good poem normally?
I don't know.
Your whole life, Henry.
Sure, it could be your whole life, but some people can do it in like, I don't know, less than an hour.
I got bored after 10 minutes.
Sure, you wrote a haiku, but you included 5 syllable. You just 5 syllables, 5 syllables, 5 syllables. So you didn't even do the haiku right.
Good.
But you're very proud of it. You put effort into this haiku.
Hey, they don't have a disguise check anymore.
No, it's would that just be stealth, or is that performance?
think-
I don't know. Persuasion.
I think it's depending on the situation. It's either
Deception?
persuasion because they're convincing. It might be deception. Probably deception.
It's probably deception.
With like if you have a
And this is like trying to hide an object on your person. Be stealth.
I'm guessing if you wear a disguise, a DM might say make a deception check, but you have advantage because you're wearing a disguise or something. I may do that in this case. We'll see.
All right, well, I'm going to totally replace my outfit with some other rough-looking mercenary outfit and look for an instrument.
Sounds good. I will actually see.
Those are pretty specific instruments, so your discretion how or what I have to roll, or if that's even possible.
Let's see. Yeah, as you walk around, there is actually a general store called the Happy Dragon Trading House that, while it does offer general supplies, also functions as a pawn shop in some respects, and you are able to find a beat-up violin in that shop.
Awesome. How much is he charging?
He's charging. He's overcharging you because rumor has made it around town that a Lord of Waterdeep is present.
These guys are hicks.
Absolutely. So he will where well, first off, I'm going to look up how much these things cost in the player's handbook. Oh, that looks reasonable. He's going to charge you 35 gold pieces for it.
Sorry, how much did you say?
35 gold pieces.
Definitely worth it.
Because that's how much it says
Yeah,
it costs, and this is a similar enough thing.
Well, as a noble, I'm used to paying big bucks for stuff anyway, but not used to the quality of stinking hand me down. But I'll take it.
All right. He will take your gold and he'll say, "Feel free to grace your shop with your presence anytime, my lord." And he will bow to you as you leave the store.
Oh, you can be assured that I will be back with these fantastic prices and this quality.
I think you choked a little bit when you said quality, but it's good enough. All right. Anyone else would like to do anything before resting? Because we got Corden doing his sleeping, drinking, and praying in that order.
And fricking for Torm.
Yes. Well, Helena Cardina likes them short and hairy.
I have no doubts of that.
All right. All right. And Sven wrote his poem. And is Ravon going to do anything?
Ravon's just going to wander around the deserted parts of the castle, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
He's feeling broody.
He is. He's very broody. He just doesn't like people very much.
You need to pick someone in the party to be your new best friend.
All right. So everyone's done their resting. They've done what they need to do. And you reconvene in the evening in Governor Nighthill's office.
I don't want to be friends with you, dwarf.
And you are joined, in addition to the governor, by the elven scholar Thrastra. Governor Nighthill looks up from his desk as he's writing something. When you enter, he says, greetings, my friends. Thank you for joining me again this evening. I trust that you've all rested and feel much better.
Very comfortable.
Thrastra has been able to speak with Leosin. He regained consciousness around noon. And she's learned some alarming things, but also very useful things as well. Thrastra will say, yes, what we've learned is that, you mentioned this as well, but not everyone in the Rain Camp is a full-fledged member of the Cult of the Dragon. Many of them are new initiates working towards full acceptance, and many others are simple mercenaries hired to flesh out the camp's strength. The real zealots are the kobolds, who are incredibly worshipful towards dragons. That makes it very easy for them to be controlled by the camp with a half-dragon in a leadership position. We've also learned the alarming news that it might not only be dragon eggs, but there may be hatchlings in the cave they have there as well. During his time in the camp, Leelson noticed that there were hunters who would bring in antelope and other large game, but they wouldn't go to feed the camp. They would just be carted into the cave. And a lot of meat was going in there, and something in there was getting fed. He and the prisoners were used for manual labor. When they came back from Greenest, there were originally 15 prisoners. 1 or 2 of them were converted and became loyal members of the cult. But the other 4 that were there before you arrived died from being overworked and were fed to the drakes that you've seen, the large lizards on the ground, the ambush drakes, I think they're called.
Wait, conversion was an option for them? It's not fair. They're just gonna execute me.
All the better for you, probably. Being a member of the cult requires a lot of self-sacrifice.
I don't get it. You're slowing down the conversation. Get back to the point.
Governor Nighthill frowns deeply.
Are you talking to yourself? Does your character talk to himself? And
No, he
respond
doesn't.
frequently.
He doesn't talk to himself ever.
Oh,
He
okay.
was talking to the guy.
The half dragon, Ling Dagosa Cianrath, is the right hand of the pretty purple lady, I believe they were called, Frulam Mondath. She is a priestess of Tiamat, and Cianrath acts effectively as her bodyguard. He is seldom far from her side.
Why was it just him here? Seems like should have been both of them.
We may want to find a way to bypass or distract this Scion Wrath. He was more formidable than perhaps the strongest combatant of us.
Well, there's not only Cianrath, but you have mentioned the name Resmir a couple of times, and Governor Nighthill thought Mondath might be this Resmir, but from what Leelson told me, there is a third leader figure there, and that figure is Resmir, and Leelson was not able to learn any information about them. Other than that, both Frulam Mondath and Cianrath defer to Resmir.
Good luck, dwarf.
Thrastra will smile at Corden and say, perhaps you'll do a little bit better in your rematch when you're working with your friends.
Oh, snap.
Not to besmirch your combat prowess, but I think the odds will be a little better when you're working together. He also learned that all of the treasure they've stolen is stored in the cave as well. It all got packed in the crates and carted into the cave when it was brought back from Greenest. And I did unfortunately confirm that Leosin did allow himself to be captured so that he could learn a little bit more of the cult's activities. And despite his ill condition, he wants to head north to El Turil as soon as he can. He's been working with Onther Froom, a paladin of Torm, who shares our concerns over the Cult of the Dragon's recent surge in activity. And after all you've already
How
done,
do you spell that last name?
Ontharr Frume, Frume. He is a paladin of Torm, of some renown.
Okay.
And the first name is like an Ontharr. It's a pretty good name.
Incredible. Continue. I just taking notes.
All right. And she'll continue. After all you've already done for me personally and Leosin, and for the people of Greenest, we do want to ask you to do one more favor. And we need you, we are planning on this, to return to the cultist camp. You know your way around it now. You have the additional information that Leosin was able to gather. And we fear that they may be conducting another large raid, or perhaps even be planning to march away. If you can learn of what their movements may be, and perhaps disrupt them in some way, or at least relay information to whoever their target may be, to prevent such a tragedy from happening again, that would be invaluable to us. But I don't recommend letting yourself get captured, she says with a wry smile.
Sven cracks his knuckles while saying, "This time we'll have the element of surprise."
Hopefully. Perhaps the dwarf can stay behind this time.
It was not the dwarf that caused the issue last time, but I have taken care of it. See, I am not hardly recognizable.
Governor Nighthill quirks an eyebrow. Yes, I hardly recognized you when you walked in, Gedwin. Most fitting disguise.
Well, to you who know me personally, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that good of a disguise, but for them who know me by reputation as the bard with the guitar. At least I will escape that pitfall.
Mm-hmm. And Governor Nighthill will nod. Perhaps Corden following them is an option, but if they do decide to move, perhaps that would be your best opportunity to wreak havoc upon the egg hatchery. If without that there, they may simply decide to disperse. And Thrastor will speak to you. Once you've learned of the camp's movements, Leosin and I will be traveling to Ertril together in the morning. If you can come meet us there, once you've ascertained the actions of the camp, you can come speak with us and the Ontharr Frume, and we can rally a force from Ertril to come and perhaps get rid of these raiders by force. And perhaps put the Cult of the Dragon down so it doesn't harass any more settlements or travelers.
Corden speaks.
That's ooh.
Hold on.
If you did try to fight them all as a group, I commend your bravery, but I would perhaps admonish your foolishness.
Would be pretty foolish. Barely made it out the first time.
That is almost a silly proposition to bring up in the first place. We are a small group. We must take small wins. Guerrilla warfare will be our ally.
Convincing the region's lord should not be too difficult. After all, a lord of Waterdeep stands among us.
Sure. It is one thing for your people to call me this in their ignorance, but surely you know the difference. I am not of such standing. I am a noble of the House Gedwin. I am not one of the lords of Waterdeep.
Governor
Yes.
Nighthill quirks an eyebrow. Of course I know. It was an attempt at a jest, but perhaps I should abstain from such in the future.
Yes. Yeah, we are doing serious business here.
Forgive me, Lord Gedwin.
Ho ho wee wee.
Edric is fine.
And of course, you will all be rewarded for these actions, of course. But if you can make it to the El Turo and speak with Onthar Froom with your actions, perhaps you'll have an even more generous reward than I can provide for you here in Greenest.
One thing you are right about, though, is I am much in my element talking with the lords, and I may be able to help us in that endeavor.
It is very important for an adventuring group such as yours to have a face, and I think you are quite adept at it, if I do say so. I can't imagine... Okay, so to derail slightly, I'm trying to imagine, like, Sven in the middle of this saying, like, oh no, my spaghetti, and dumping a pile of spaghetti on, I don't know, Governor Nighthill's outfit with pasta sauce dripping down it, like one of those terrible children's movies with the live action people. Oh no, my spaghetti, says Sven as he dumps a plate of meatballs, marinara, and noodles all over Governor Nighthill.
Seth quoting Undertale? What?
Oh man. He probably doesn't know it's from Undertale.
I did play Flowey's theme when we were talking about
No,
new
it's
best friends.
Eminem,
It is.
Mom Spaghetti.
Never forget it. Oh, are you playing Eminem?
No, he's playing Undertale, John.
If you had
No Eminem
one
reference
shot.
on Undertale.
Lose yourself to the music.
Okay, so so are we agreed on the plan?
Sure.
Maybe one of these days I should learn to speak like the rest of you. It did.
$35.
That's cheaper. That's more expensive than the Higao hoodie.
Oh my god.
Do you want one of those, John?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. What's Richard's size? I'll get him one too.
Medium or
Medium.
large, I think. I don't know.
All right.
I think
It's
large.
Asian sizes, so I'll get him a extra large.
Yeah. My God, you're gonna have to get me a double or triple XL.
Yep, you can get, but you'll have your own Higao hoodie.
Wow. I'm so happy.
All right. So, your plan of action will probably be set out in the morning, as I understand it. You guys have been rested. As far as like supplies and things, I think you guys are still good on rations, and Ravon can do hunting. Did Ravon want to like make any potions of healing during this downtime?
Oh, for sure.
All right, let's look at the rules for those things again. But
Let's
but there's some downtime now. If you guys just want to sleep, want to like do some crafting, talk to anyone, ask questions, now is the time.
I do a lot more push-ups.
Like Goku.
Yes.
No.
Basically, in all of my downtime so far, I've either been a complete creep or I've worked out.
He's just like what's his name? The maid, the butler, the combat butler, Hayate.
All right, John. I think you can make one potion a day. So so during this downtime, you have the possibility to make one potion of healing.
I will do that. That sounds like a great idea.
And I don't believe you need to make a check for that because you have the herbalism.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
I'll be pretty much just interviewing Governor Nighthill about the Lord that we're going to speak, just so I learn a bit about his temperament and stuff like that ahead of time.
I need a shirt with like Seth's face with a giant beard on it that says "Heal yourself." That's my favorite.
Bravery discount $1 off. Oh. Well, that's also $34, but it's a patriotic shirt, so I'm willing to pay. Chef.
I mean, it looks like throw up. So
I'm sorry. The first comment: Chef Boyardee's masterpiece. Oh.
Governor Nighthill will tell you that Onthar is boisterous and gregarious, perhaps to a fault, and he has a strong dedication to heroic justice, as befits Paladin of Torm.
So
and
he's an old cleric?
Yes, he will give you a description of the man, and he will, to the point where you can envision him in your mind. So, I don't want to post his wiki page.
Oh,
Delete.
no.
That's basically, copy pasta from the source book I have. Well, he looks pretty good.
Weird. That's like the opposite of the weird purple lady.
Yeah, she looks
not great.
Hello, Purple Man.
Yeah, no,
Holy
he looks
crap.
great. Look at him.
I know.
That armor is a one-way ticket to like dying.
So, guys, let's play a game. Is he a human or a dwarf? And why does he have spurs sticking out of his feet?
Oh my God, he does.
Based on the fact that a actual Zweihander only goes up to his chin. Can we go with giant?
He is human.
Oh, come on.
There's
not a human.
nothing wrong with human.
So, boisterous, gregarious, and is a wonderful man, and roll. I don't know. Roll persuasion to try and get a little bit more information out of Governor Nighthill.
I got a 12.
What are we rolling?
Persuasion.
Oh, this is just for Gedwin.
Oh.
Oh.
20, not natural.
All right. So, Governor Nighthill will say, I shouldn't be telling you this, but the name that Onthar Froome has made for himself, as well as his enthusiasm for law and order, has put him high up on the list to be a delegate for the region to the Lords of Waterdeep.
Target with me.
And so it's possible he will soon be representing Elturel and Greenest and the other settlements in the area, should any issues, serious issues that require an audience with them, be raised.
You are completely right. You should not be telling me this. I mean, I
As a
most
matter of
appreciate-
grave politics.
Yes, well, do not worry. I completely understand the ramifications of this, and I will be on the hush hush.
Sweet Charlotte.
I appreciate your silence on the matter.
But I appreciate your willingness to help us, to help you.
Anything for a Lord of Waterdeep.
I am traipsing around the countryside in a filthy duster jacket without any retinue to be called a Lord of Waterdeep.
Well, even some lords must want to take a vacation, and even then it must be low key. Perhaps you are being subtle so as not to be swarmed by any local peasants.
Do not patronize me.
Governor Nighthill will chuckle a little bit. But he's having a little bit of a good time. But
It's 'cause I haven't talked to him.
That's good of this older, experienced minor noble having a good rib at this little 20-year-old inexperienced guy. It's a good thing. I'm going to storm.
All right, so we got Ravon making a potion. We got Gedwin chatting it up with Governor Nighthill. Do you want to do anything, Sven, besides your push-ups?
Give me some mashed potatoes at the local wherever there's food.
Potatoes.
Need some potatoes.
Castobert the Red will frown at you as you scoop mashed potatoes off his plate and shove them into your mouth, but he won't raise an objection and will instead go off to another part of the keep.
No. He doesn't want to eat them.
Not after that.
No, I mean, Sven doesn't want to eat them. He just wants mashed potatoes for reasons.
Oh, okay. Well,
Trust
he takes
me.
them from the red-haired dwarf. So, and that's the only person who has them in town.
Why does he have?
Oh. Oh, my goodness.
No, that's all I needed.
According to the training goes pretty well. These people are not, they've had basic combat training, but they clearly aren't experts, and they are more than happy to receive a little bit of a touch up on their skills from an experienced combatant. And even though you did fall in combat against Cian Wrath and in single combat, they don't quite have a hero worship thing going on for you, but they certainly do have a lot of admiration for your bravery and honor in doing what you did to save the sergeant's family. You're held in high esteem. All right, so we'll let the rest of the evening pass. You guys get a little bit of sleep, and you guys are setting out in the morning.
As it should be.
And you guys will be going at a quick pace to try and get back to the camp?
I would think so.
Yeah, I don't imagine we're not carrying much with us either. It's not like we're traveling fairly
Then
light
again,
too.
Mm-hmm.
And again, do we want to? I mean, I suppose 24 hours later, I suppose it won't matter what their defense is like. They probably won't lower the alert anymore if we take longer to walk there. So,
No.
yeah.
If you guys are provided fresh food by the town in the morning because you have rescued the prisoners. You've been working hard on trying to keep Greenest, safe. So you guys, each of you gets enough rations for the next 3 days from the town, and it's the good stuff, not the the hard packed nutrient rich stuff. It's fresh bread, fresh fruit, dried and salted meat, a flagon of Greenest moonshine a flask of Greenest moonshine for Corden. 90 proof.
Goodness. Ow.
All right. It doesn't take you long to reach the camp again. It's only a 12-mile jaunt.
Very brisk.
Yep, which at the pace you're going at, gets you there in about 3 hours, I'd say. Especially once you get to that once you leave the fields, enter more of that plateau, canyony area. As you get closer to the camp, do you want to change your pace at all, or do you want to just keep going at your brisk pace?
I don't know. I feel like it probably doesn't matter too much. Perhaps we want to slow down near the camp, so kind of like last time.
Especially to see if maybe they've replenished the patrols.
Right, they probably have better patrols out than last time.
All right. As you slow your approach and act a little more cautiously, you notice thick black plumes of smoke coming up from the camp. This isn't like, cooking fires or anything. This is pretty heavy stuff.
This is what could happen if you spill your spaghetti.
You crack heads? I almost read that as hands.
So I imagine we quicken our pace again.
Yeah.
All right. As you approach the camp, you notice, make a perception check.
I got a 15.
All right. How is Ravon doing with his perception?
Hang on, I keep switching over from these things. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Isn't Ravon the name of a character in Atlanta Nights?
No, that's Yvonne.
Yes, Yvonne.
Oh no.
Yvonne.
Yvonne Parent, who desires the masseuse at the Polo Club.
21.
21. All right. So Sven and Ravon, as you approach the camp, the guard tower that had been up before, you notice that it is abandoned. There is no one in there.
My goodness. Now, let's see. I think Ravon will go up to that tower and get a good look. Up the stairs we go till we get to the tunnel.
You're looking at the radar camp map. You're going past the tower, and you're just entering the entire camp.
I think he's looking at
No.
he's climbing the tower actually to get a better view.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't even need to climb the tower to see this, but looking at the radar camp map where it has the level 1, 2, 3, 2, and all that, the level 1 area where the kobold huts were and the drinking party happened, the kobold huts are all burned to ash. They are no longer existing structures, and the large number of people who had been in the camp before are just gone. There is no one else here. And because you did roll 21 in your perception when you were looking at the tower, you notice as you enter the camp that there are a lot of tracks going out of it in all directions.
Oh my.
There must have been a horrible accident here. They were preparing their defenses for us, and their whole camp just burned down, leaving no survivors. Very tragic.
Is there any sign of life?
Yes, and there is in fact. There is on the level 2 area of the camp, by the big tent that Frulam Mondath was in. There is a orc with a bow with a quiver on his back and a bow at his feet, who is currently working on preparing an antelope that has been killed.
Oh my.
And you can see a couple of antelope skins hanging up on some, I guess, a rack by the side of the tent. And a couple of other antelopes that have already been skinned sitting off to the side.
Ravon will climb back down the tower and tell everybody what he has seen. What has he had?
We may be able to get information out of said orcs.
Possibly.
You said an orc? What,
Yeah.
what did they look like?
Like an orc.
Make a wisdom check. Ravon.
Me?
Yes.
All right. You got it. Where's my wisdom? There it is. Whoop. That did not land on anything. Thank you, keyboard. 11.
Based on what the orc was doing and the bow and arrow he had, you would guess that this was an orc ranger.
Oh, goodness.
Hmm.
How rare is an orc ranger? Or would he just be like a scout for them?
That is typically a position a ranger has in a large group like that. They tend to
Yeah.
act as like scouts or hunters.
Okay.
So there's no chance it's my grandmother. That's too bad.
Isn't your grandmother really that ugly?
Oh, I didn't see it, but my grandmother was very beautiful.
Think like
Hey, your
Maeda's mother in
grandmother.
Cromartie. Gordon's in
Oh man. Oh, good lord.
Sven's grandmother was a full-blooded orc.
If he is a ranger, sneaking up may do very little. I can't put him to sleep though.
I could
Takes
talk
a
to him.
ranger. Takes a ranger to beat a ranger. Allow me.
I say we let we let Ravan talk to him, and if things go sour, I can play a
What is that?
violin tune.
Is that my grandmother?
That's the orc.
Yeah, that looks like an orc to me.
Okay. Now, is there any way to tell if this orc is part of the bigger group, or do you think, or would it be in that he's acting as part of a different group?
I mean, like with them, you kind of remember maybe one or two orcs with the mercenary group, but well, maybe they're half orcs. Maybe it was just an ugly human. You're not entirely sure.
Okay. I think I'm going to try and have Ravan go in for the old, hey, buddy.
I can
I'm a
translate
scout."
for you. So
He does speak Orcish.
Oh, goodness.
Do you speak Orcish, then?
yes,
Oh, okay, good.
What do I speak? I speak, I think I have like 4 languages.
it was my father. What was his
Oh,
name?
no.
Games short sword is a half orc. And a good man. His son's a runt.
I speak Common, Elfish, and Goblin. And Draconic as well. So, I don't quite speak Orcish, but, maybe Goblin is close enough.
Good idea. Speak Goblin at it. That'll be great.
I'll speak Klingon at it. Okay.
Nerd!
So Ravon is going to do the old sneaky sneak up to the orc.
All right. Roll stealth.
You betcha. Oop. Where is my stealth? There it is. 18.
18. You win.
Cool. Ravon will slip behind the the orc, and listen.
Suddenly, Corden
He's
is shot again.
He's going to put another arrow in that fucking dwarf. He sneaks up behind the orc and kind of listens for a couple minutes. Sees what the orc is doing. Maybe he's
Swear
talking
to
to himself.
The orc is
The orc even is speaking in any other language.
you hear the sound of someone preparing caught game for food. You know, it's not entirely a pleasant sound, but they aren't talking to themselves. You notice it's a lady orc as you get closer. You can't really tell that from a distance.
Disgusting. Ladies. What am I? All right.
Are you just going to chill, like being sneaky for like 5 minutes as they prepare the game?
No, it's if it's clear that they're not talking, he's not going to sit there for 5 more minutes. How many are there?
One.
Oh, it's just the one. Okay.
Mhm.
And you said they, and I got a little taken aback.
Mhm.
Oh,
I guess I should
He'll,
say she is just sitting there or whatever. She is
Also,
not.
so
Ron
does
will.
female.
Yeah,
It might be grandmother.
it could be grandmother Maeda. Ravon will walk out the shadows, and
Mhm.
as he walks out of the shadows, he says, "Hello."
The orc will look up at you, look you up and down, notice your equipment, look at your face, not appreciatively,
The
say-
feeling's mutual.
and say, "Howdy." And she will go back to working on her antelope.
I notice you're a ranger.
Seth,
like
do you
me.
ship it?
Oh God.
Seth, do you ship it?
Uh,
I need agreement.
the orc will respond, "Yeah, I'm a hunter." Always good to see another one.
Yeah. Why did they both sound the same?
Because one's an orc and the other is a half.
It's a recluse. Yeah. Let's see. Ravon says, "You part of this company too?"
Yeah. I get him food, and then she'll go back to her antelope again.
Suppose they didn't tell you. Or actually, let me redo that. Didn't tell me they already sent someone else out here. Haven't seen you before. You usually around?
No. I go hunting, get the antelope, bring it back. Go get more antelope. Bring it back. Go get more antelope. Bring it back. Everyone else gone when I come back with the antelope.
Oh,
Guess it's my antelope now.
If she keeps doing that, there'll be no more antelope someday.
Not gonna go back.
Nah. Couple of them still in the cave. They gotta eat. So I'll get antelope.
Fair enough. You know, I never really had real clearance. Exactly's in the cave.
They're the dragon dogs.
Oh, dragon dogs.
Yeah, dragon dogs. She'll make a motion with her hands to show the height and do like a mouth movement with her hand and say, they go, yep, yep. Dragon dogs. Short, stinky. Scare the antelope. There's the dragon man in there too. Blue.
Oh,
And the wearer of purple is in there too.
jeez.
They pay me well, so I get them food. Antelope.
Didn't know they were still here. How come they stayed behind?
The eggs.
Makes sense. Well, I'm off again. Keep at her. And Ravon will
You just
go
keep-
back from.
Wait.
What?
What's your name, Hunter?
Oh, God.
It's just
Don't really have use for names.
She nods appreciatively. She can respect that. Well, my name is Nebraska.
I just spat all over my computer. Last name wouldn't happen to be Jones, would it?
No, just Nebraska.
You got a whip?
Just my bow. No whip. See you around, maybe. And she will go back to her antelope.
All right. Ravon will go back to the group. Keeping in mind that the orc ranger could be watching him. He doesn't want to make her suspicious of where he's going, so he'll kind of tiptoe through the tulips and all that jazz.
your acting was superb, though. Every sentence was incredible.
Yeah.
He came
I
off
know.
as a man who does not spend much time around others.
Yep. Sounds
Sounds about right.
sounds about right. Thankfully,
Sven will teach you.
oh
Your new best friend is here.
no! I thought my best friend was the dwarf. He loves me.
Yes, you shot him.
I gave him a present. It's
Reclusive ranger conversation was entertaining, though.
I'm glad.
It was like a couple of cave people who just met.
Ravon's not stupid.
He's just unsociable.
He has 12 intelligence.
I think
It's got
being
a +1
unsociable is
modifier.
I think being unsociable is a required trait when people take the ranger class.
Pretty sure my dump stat is charisma. I have 10. Actually, both my dump stats are strength and charisma. That's yeah.
No
Right.
regret.
So if we kill the orc, we get the food.
But more
That's certainly
importantly,
one way to look at it.
Ravon will tell everyone that head honcho and her blue dragon are in that cave along with the eggs proceed with caution. I'm going to proceed to get myself a glass of water.
Mm.
All right, so it's about 11 p.m., so I'll probably call it here for you guys. But I just want to know if you guys want to, because you're outside this cave entrance, the bad dudes are in there. Gonna tell you right now, that cave is a pretty sizable dungeon. So just want to figure out what your general plan of action would be before entering the cave, or how you'd like to prepare for entering it.
Hmm.
I don't really know. I mean, I still feel like we don't really have a cohesive, like, group strategy yet.
I mean, you could also do some searching around the camp too.
Yeah, I mean, it's deserted, so very, very good time to look around.
That sounds like a good plan if I've ever heard any.
All right. If you want to do a quick search of the camp, it'd probably take about 10 minutes. If you want to do something a bit more thorough, it'd probably take an hour.
Hmm. My thing is that Orc Ranger's gonna wonder why we're turning over bins.
Well, I'm sure you can think of a good reason for it.
We should split the party.
Always split the party.
I'm thinking we send Gedwin and Corden into the cave to fight the bosses, and then how about Vervan will tail the orc, and then I will track down the people who the tracks. That'd be great.
That sounds like the greatest of plans.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but while the little huts the kobolds were have burned down, the structures that the mercenaries and other humans would have been living in, those are still standing.
Hmm.
Yes, the kobolds have probably been kicked out of the club for their insolence.
God.
Why worry about a strategy now when we'll just forget it and then have to rethink of it next time?
Now that sounds like
Yeah,
a
that's right.
plan.
You can also write stuff down.
What? I
Kind
wrote
of
down the
loser does
paladin's
that?
name, and I almost had a stroke writing down the paladin's name.
Ansar Froom. He's great. Yeah, I mean, so far it seems like there might be a plan to search the camp, see if anything we found. Seth is certainly interested in finding the trail of the people who have left the camp.
Could I just go back to Greenest?
I'm less interested about the people who left the camp than I am the dragon hatchlings and also their leaders.
Yeah. Ron really wants to kill dragon babies.
They are his favorite thing to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can bond with Nebraska over a dinner of dragon and antelope.
Oh. Wife. Get antelope.
Did you say wife?
I did.
Oh.
Sven is supremely
I guess
jealous.
John took his own character with Nebraska.
Yeah, I got nothing more to add.
Yeah.